Hello my friends and welcome to a video I didn't think I would ever have to make or ever want to make, because when I joined OpTic almost 2 years ago now, that was a dream. I was a part of the Green Wall before I became a member of OpTic. I was a fan of what they were doing before I became a part of that content, which was unreal to me because I'd been watching OpTic since probably the Black Ops 2 competitive days. Seeing them compete in those tournaments, seeing the personalities grow from those players, seeing the content that was coming out from that house was unreal for me. Some of the best days that I've had watching streams and YouTube videos and stuff like that. To get the opportunity to join that team was an incredible moment for me, because the streams and the videos that I viewed, the people that I watched, I became a part of that. I was solo at the time when I was like, do I join another team? Do I look for a new home? Or do I just focus on myself? Because I'm a very lone wolf in terms of content. I'm sure you've noticed this over the years. I really don't collaborate too much. It's one of my weak points. I'm just so focused on creating the best content I can make and representing who I'm representing in the best way that I can. And when the opportunity came around to join OpTic, I was like, yes, that's it. That's what I need. I don't need to focus on myself anymore. That is still going to be there. I'm still going to be able to make that content, but I want to be part of a close-knit family, part of a core group of people creating content, entertaining people every day with collaborative videos, visions, trivias, plays, whatever it may be. The OpTic content that I loved over the years, I get to be a part of that. And that decision came with many other opportunities. It wasn't just being a part of that content. Fast forward almost 2 years later, through the ups and the downs, the roller coaster of a journey that I've been on with this team, I'm sitting here today to let you know that I've decided to part ways with OpTic. I've decided to leave the team, and OpTic Spratt, the name, will be one for the memories, one for the history, which is it's horrible to say. It's heartbreaking to say, because I had so much hope, so many ideas, so much vision, I guess, with joining this team, and a couple of promises that could have gone a different way and things would have been so much different. I'm sure some people know what I'm talking about. If you follow the intel, the leaks, and the stuff that's going on behind the scenes with OpTic and the new management and the takeover and whatever it may be, I'm sure some people saw this coming, but if you just watch me, you probably think I'm crazy. Why the hell am I leaving OpTic? So I'm going to talk about that in a second, but I just want to say thank you to the Green Wall for welcoming me with open arms. It was an incredible experience to be a part of this team. Whether I was just going to be a sniping guy or whether I get to be a part of that content, I got to do a little bit of both, which was unreal. So I know the situation we're in is terrible and it sucks. And I'm sure a lot of people in OpTic right now, or past OpTic members, have experienced things in a different manner, a different level of just frustration. But for me personally, I tried to look at it as a positive thing. Until the final days I was in the team, I still thought of it as a positive mindset, because at the end of the day, for a living, I get to create content every single day. I get to create videos around my passion that people watch. So when things get thrown my way, curveballs, spatters in the works, whatever it may be, I can never complain too much, because I do what I love for a living, and that is a blessing in itself. I want to say thank you to all those people that support me. I want to say thank you to the OpTic guys, the members that welcome me to the team, became my friends. And, I could go on and on about that stuff, get all emotional about it. I know it was only 2 years, but at the end of the day, OpTic is going to have a place in my heart. It's a part of my journey. It's the same with FaZe. It's the same with so many people that I've met. They're always going to have a place in my heart because they were just such big parts of my journey. Sure, some people are going to be worried that I'm going to slow down. Nothing is changing here. I'm just going to be more focused on myself. My lone wolf mindset is going to be back out. I'm going to be creating the best content I can leading into Modern Warfare. But I'm sure you're still all intrigued. Why am I leaving the team? So let's talk about that here. So rewind back to when I joined OpTic in the first place, almost 2 years ago. That was when the transition period happened. So before, it was all run by Hector and a couple of helpers, of course. Hex, the legend, the OG, the role model to many, of course. He was actually transferring a lot of the day-to-day stuff. The majority of the work was moving over to the company Infinite, who bought OpTic as a whole. So I just joined when Infinite was the ones making the decisions and helping out in any way they could. They were in charge of the content, in charge of making things happen. And one of those things was the American visa for me personally. They had promised that I was getting that visa so I could be out there full-time, working around the creators, around the other members, collaborating, making beautiful videos. And one of those things I was looking forward to was being with my good friend Pomaj, being in the same team as him, in the same country, creating that content together in the same space. I was so excited for it. We were so excited. We were promised greatness. It was going to be incredible. Imagine Pomaj and I just absolutely running it. Two of the biggest names in the sniping scene, just a powerhouse for OpTic sniping. We were going to represent it in the best way possible. We had so many ideas, so many plans. We just needed that visa so I could be out there full time, because until then, I'm traveling back and forth. I'm going to events. I'm going to America. I'm coming back to England. I'm just all over the place. I could never settle. And we just couldn't get it to happen. That visa process should have been the first thing that was on their list to get done. As soon as I joined the team, they was like, we need Spratt out here. Let's get it sorted. But that wasn't the case. Seeing it get passed down to someone else's job, and it was just never progressing. It was heartbreaking. Like I said, it was heartbreaking to see. And it was such a demotivator for me, as well as a lot of people in the team. They just started seeing like, this not going to work out, and we want you out there. We want you in this content. And I'm like, what can I do? It's out of my hands. It's horrible. And that was the most frustrating part about it. It was out of my hands. So it was unfortunate for Pamaj and I. We had such an incredible idea and such a concept. We always talk about it now. Obviously, he's doing incredibly well over at FaZe. I always respect my friends and just want to see them happy and thrive. And he's killing it right now. And I love to see that. But we always say, what if? You know, we were finally in the same team at the same time, ready to go. And we were like, what if this worked out? And of course, it wasn't just that stuff. It was the OpTic work as a whole, the content as a whole. I was ready to be there. I was ready to grind. I was confident. I was excited. I was passionate to be around the creators, be around the other guys, and collaborate 24/7. I was ready to go. But because I was back and forth traveling here and there, and once that started happening, once I was back in England a lot more, I was like, it's not working out. It's not going to be how I planned it to be. It's not how we visioned it to be. And it was slowly starting to take a toll on my personal grind, my own growth, my passion for sniping content here on YouTube. I could barely make videos, and I'm sure a lot of people saw that. What we do here is all about consistency and the love and the grind. And if you lose momentum, it's so hard to get that back. So after all that mess, all that traveling, I gave Infinite one last chance. And of course, it didn't work out. I didn't get the visa. I'm sure they tried. Even if they didn't, it doesn't matter at the end of the day, because I saw it declining. I saw the mess that was going on. There was a lot of disconnect between Infinite and the creators as it was. The passion and the love had disappeared, and it was more about the numbers. It was more about the business. And I understand that. Don't get me wrong. I know how brands work. I know how sponsorships work. I get that. But there's a way of doing that, in a sense of keeping that passion and love there. There's a way of creating these deliverables without, I guess, selling out. Decided, okay, I'm going to represent OpTic in the best way I can back in England. So I started killing it again with the YouTube scene. So I killed the Black Ops 4 beta, ended World War II on a high, and then just, I was rolling. You know, I was rolling by then, and then Black Ops 4 came out, and I was loving it. I was making some of the best content I've ever made, and I was just so focused, and it was amazing to know I was representing OpTic, even though the behind the scenes was an absolute mess. Nobody knew what was going on. It was such a disconnect between the management and OpTic as a whole, the creators as a whole, but I was still passionate about OpTic, the brand, the green wall, and I was making sure that everything I put out was a great representation of what OpTic was and what OpTic could be. So all those green wall fans out there, I hope you guys enjoyed the content I was putting out. I was loving it. Even though there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, it's still a blessing to be a part of that. I'm sure a lot of people may have been discouraged and just kind of get a little bit sad and a little bit lazy. I took it as motivation. I was like, okay, if I can't get an American visa and be out there, let me represent my home turf the best I could. Let me be that English content creator, that English sniper that you all know, and just try and make the best content I could for the team. But I'm not going to sit here with a brave face the whole time. You know, I am human at the end of the day. I was saddened by the fact that I couldn't be out there with the guys creating content, making memories, because that's the reason I joined. So even though I made the most of being back in England, even though I wanted to just solidify myself as this UK creator, this English sniper, it was still horrible to know that I felt a little bit disconnected from the team, from the guys out there. And I think that was another factor to my decision. Being in England on my lonesome, away from everyone else in the team, you know, it did take a toll on me. It wasn't anything they did. It wasn't anything I did. It's just how the situation went down. And because of things in the past few months, we've now got new management. Infinite decided to sell everything they own, and Immortals have taken over OpTic alongside many other things that they owned before. It's slowly starting to change again in another direction, and I thought, seeing how things have gone behind the scenes and seeing how things could go in the future, that's why I've decided to part ways with the team. I don't know if OpTic are going to kill it in the future. Maybe Immortals are going to absolutely do an incredible job, and I have faith in anyone. You know, I feel like they've been dealt a bad hand, but I don't know what their vision is. I don't know what their goals are, but I've decided it doesn't matter. Unfortunately, I just don't see a place for me in this team anymore. I wish nothing but the best to anyone left at OpTic, anyone who is representing the team. I love OpTic. I love the brand. I love the green wall. I'm still going to be supporting them over the weekend. I don't know when you're watching this, but Champs is happening. The final Black Ops 4 event. I'm hoping OpTic can take that dub and end this year, this crazy year, with a championship. That would be unreal. This is actually going to be the last event that we'll be rooting for OpTic or for FaZe or for Envy in the Call of Duty competitive space, because after this event, we're going to be moving to franchising in the competitive side of Call of Duty. So when Modern Warfare drops, the league spots are based around city names around the world, the LA this, the New York that. So once the OpTic name has left the competitive side of Call of Duty and has moved to something else, will OpTic still be creating content in the Call of Duty space? I don't know. But honestly, with how things have gone over the past few years behind the scenes, as much positivity as I've got and the confidence that I have, I think I'm all out of juice. I'm all out of juice, and I just don't see them focusing on that side of things with Call of Duty. So I'd rather part ways now, wish them the best, and just focus on myself. But I guess we shall end it by saying I am no longer a part of a team. I am a solo creator, a lone wolf, and I don't have any plans at the moment to join another organization. I just want to be known as Spratt for a while, or maybe Spratty. We'll bring back the OG nickname. I don't know, but if you've joined me on the OpTic gaming journey, thank you so much for that. If you've been around before or just joined whenever, I appreciate you guys tuning in, and all the love has been overwhelming recently. I'm not slowing down. If anything, I'm going to be creating more content and just being able to focus on my passion once again. And I guess one more thank you to OpTic Gaming, the Green Wall as a whole. It's been an incredible journey. Thank you for welcoming me with open arms. But unfortunately, I guess all good things have to come to an end, and that end is now for me. So that's going to do it. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you guys soon.